Hey Sonia, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's good to be here.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate it. And Sonia, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where I think it has become my anthem. So firstly, Sonia, I want to say thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, Sonia, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. They say some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Sonia, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately, I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did. And it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. It looks so beautiful. I tell you, it was a special moment that day for me. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Sonia that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to say nope to you. And getting to read a little bit about you, your philosophies, your insight, your work, the impact it is having, your journey. I tell you, it's amazing. So I've got to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. That whole story. Oh,
So
it definitely hit me in the.
beautiful. So let's get started. It says, Sonia, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for, let's see, two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Sonia, I believe it takes the application of knowledge. And not just knowledge, but the application of it. And you say, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Sonia on the show is for the sake of the audience now. You see, Sonia, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, high opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Sonia, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Sonia got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Sonia, over to
Okay.
you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that introduction. It was beautiful.
Thank you too.
So basically, so basically, I grew up. I kind of had a rough life for, I guess, for being in America. I grew up with my family was kind of poor. I had kind of a upbringing where my parents were very emotionally neglectful, and so I kind of feel like I've had to do life by myself and figure things out on my own. And it even led me to join the Marine Corps, the United States Marine Corps. Out of all branches, I thought I was, the tough. I wanted to be the toughest and try and do something like bigger than myself. I guess I wanted to make a difference in the world. In doing so, I had a lot of ups and downs in my Marine Corps career. But I feel like the low lows I had to go through actually turned into beautiful transformations, to me figuring out how to turn the negative into a positive and how to always learn from anything bad that has ever happened to me, basically, instead of having a victim mentality. Instead of saying, oh, like, why me, I always tried to see the lesson in the hardship. So I feel like in that, I've been able to become a very positive, uplifting person. I got to the point where I was like motivating the Marines around me, helping them believe in themselves. And then I also started getting in the mindset where I knew that your mind was a powerful thing, and I started doing a lot of research and learning more about the mind and neurology and psychology and all these different things. And I feel like I actually learned that you can do anything when you put your mind to it. And so I injured myself in one of my courses that I did in the Marine Corps. I was doing an obstacle course and I was racing against other guys and trying to beat the guys. And I've always been able to push myself physically, like past my limits. I've been able to beat guys when it came to like physical abilities. And then I ended up tearing an ACL on that obstacle course. I tore my ACL completely. I didn't know it was completely torn yet, but I just knew I had decided that I was going to heal myself and be able to finish the course. It was like a 6-week, 7-week course. And there's like a culminating event at the end where you have to run through the woods and do obstacles and all this stuff. And I s- I ended up I ended up rehabbing and healing. I found out a couple weeks later it was an ACL tear, and I was just like, I just want to keep going. Like, I believe I can do it. And so the athletic trainer there basically was like, all right, let's do it then. And so he got me to the point where I was able to run and do the obstacles with a knee brace on. And I was still beating half of the guys. So I, when I speak about this to not brag about myself, but basically just a testament of what you're able to do when you believe in yourself. And I was led to finally get out of the Marine Corps because I felt like it was part of my purpose to go on and do bigger and better things and try and help the world believe in themselves. So that's what I do now. I'm a coach. I'm a mindset coach, and I try and help people, gain more confidence in themselves and find their purpose and passion and believe in themselves to go after that.
That's amazing. And you see, listening to you speak is very, very interesting because your words are incredible. And there are a lot of insight in listening to you. Number one that I picked was having this mentality of not being the victim and turning negativity into positivity and believing that you can achieve whatever it is that you set your mind to. And you mentioned that you understood that the mind is so, so powerful. And that's correct because I believe our minds are like the steering of our lives. They shape how we make decisions and how we view things and how we react to things. So getting to listen to someone who understands this thing, it's amazing. But I'm a bit curious. While you were serving, okay, what are like some, or should I say, the biggest challenges you faced while serving? Can you share some with us?
When what?
When you were serving in the Marine Corps.
Oh, when I was serving, what were my biggest challenges? I would say I had two big challenges. The first challenge I really felt was when I went onto recruiting duty, and I was basically forced into a uncomfortability. Like it was extremely negative, and it was They just we're results driven. They want you to get, recruit as many people as you can. And then if you don't, they basically beat you down mentally. And so it got to me for a good, the first 6 months that I was there. I fell into a depression. It was very, like, it was probably the most depressed I've ever felt in my life. And then one day, something sparked. There was one leader there that told me, he pulled me to the side, and he was basically like, uh, he was like, Sonya, he was like, you are a badass. He was like, you who did bodybuilding competitions, you were a Marine Corps, black belt Marine Corps martial arts instructor. And you just need to remember who you are and tell that story. And so I just realized that I was the only person that can get myself out of this depression, and I had to turn it around. So um I had a couple other people I was able to reach out to vent to, and yeah, kind of had a support system I could vent to and get advice from. And somebody told me, do something every day that, for you. And so I would start to go on walks in the park just to be out in nature, because I always just felt good walking out in nature, in God's creation. And so so I started turning it around, and I focused more on helping people than anything. And I think once I started doing that, that's when everything started really turning around. I started to recruit a lot more people because I cared. They were giving me referrals. I was actually like caring about them, their families, and they could tell that I cared because of how much time I would spend with them and on them, and helping their child's development, basically, because I was dealing with high school kids at the time. And so that was the first hardest thing that I went through in the Marine Corps.
Amazing. And it just proved one fact that you're strong. And whatever you set your mind to, you can accomplish. Okay, so how did you discover quantum energy healing? And what does that even mean?
So I honestly didn't really know what that was before, until um so my studies into neurology led into quantum physics, and I felt like I had been led on this, to this information. Like, everything has been divinely orchestrated. And I basically I wrote down, I just felt the urge that I need to write down what I was hearing when I was listening to Joe Dispenza, and he's a pretty famous neurologist that has helped a lot of people heal their bodies with their minds. And so I wrote down the meditations, and I just started doing them every day, 3 times a day. And literally, like, in 2-3 days time frame, the anxiety that I had my whole life was gone. Um, the cravings that I used to get for alcohol, I would always get these cravings, but I would always fight it with my mind. And it was just always a battle, but they were just gone. And then I just started getting all these. I could literally feel my vibration rising, because humans are all made of energy, and vibrations and frequencies is a real thing. And so the lower vibrational frequencies is basically like being in a state of shame, guilt, anger, fear. All of those are low vibrational states. And then once you raise your vibration, you're more in the happy, joyful, grateful, love states. And so once I started raising my vibration, I would literally feel the world around me changing. Like, I would go places, and people would just be super nice to me, or people would just be super nice to me out of nowhere. And at least it just felt like out of nowhere. And I just started realizing that the vibration I was emitting was affecting the world around me. And it was basically even affecting my son too, because my son was getting he was getting sick a lot. He would get sick and he would have these asthma attacks, and I'd have to take him to the hospital. But as I've been raising my vibration, and I got to a point where I learned how to take care of his asthma at home. But it got to the point now where the last time he got sick, like I barely even had to give him any treatments. And so I strongly believe that my energy was like rubbing off on him, and even the people around me too. Now I can tell everyone's more calm. People are less frustrated around me. It's like I can see that. And so I also feel more sensitive to it's like I feel more sensitive to people's energies now too. And so I know that what I experienced was a quantum healing, and I know how to help other people achieve it as well.
Amazing. So how do you integrate it with the mindset coaching?
So what I do is when I get on with my clients, I actually have before we start our session, I have us do like a breath work. We do a breath work, and then we do a super quick meditation just to set the intention for the session. Then and then we'll go through the session, we'll talk, and my clients unknowingly, because it's like subconscious, they'll be telling me the things that I need to know in order to help them heal. And so I'll be able to pick it out and see, like, okay, you still need to heal this, you still need to heal that, and let's work on that. And then at the end of my sessions, I usually do a closing out meditation and breath work at the end, just a quick one.
Amazing. That's a great approach.
Mhm.
I love that. So let's talk about your podcast. All right. Why did you start your podcast? Remember who you are. Start it.
Yeah, so so I felt very pulled uh by my soul to start it because I had been watching a podcast. It's called Next Level Soul, and he really inspired me to, I guess, to start it, but in my own way. Um, so he's amazing. He's been able to get this information out to millions of people already, and so I just feel like this is information that the world is heading towards, and if whether people know it or not, like the world is heading towards like a 5D Earth to where we are trying to create heaven on earth right now, but it takes the collective.
Got it. So how can someone become a more confident speaker?
So for me, I give people the meditations that they need to speak into themselves, to where it automatically will make them more confident in themselves when it comes to speaking, because I've done it myself personally, so I know it works. I've been able to do these meditations and learn the right way that we need to talk to ourselves and the right way we need to speak to our brains, because like God made us some amazing creatures. Like we just had to learn how to use it correctly.
That's right.
So so I basically just teach people the right way to speak to themselves, and it just starts it just starts to your body will just start doing what you tell it to do. That's what it's made to do.
I got that. Okay, so finally, all right, what advice do you have for anyone struggling with self-belief?
So what I would say to anybody struggling with self-belief is that you are more powerful than you know. You have to start becoming more aware of the thoughts that you have in your own head, and tell yourself that, like, I am going to start becoming more aware of my thoughts in my head. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start catching all my negative thoughts, not believing in the negative thoughts, because they can be there, but they're not true. You just have to tell yourself that's not true, that's a lie. And then you start telling yourself the more positive things, the things that are in your soul that you know you want to be. Like that's the true you. And so you just have to speak to that, um, that person inside that knows they're confident, that knows, I know I'm confident. I know that I can speak, and like anything it is that you want to do, you have to just tell yourself that you know you can do it. And the more you tell yourself, the more you'll believe it.
That's so true. And I got that. That was a great one. Okay, so for folks who like to reach out to you, Sonia, or even ask questions or make use of your solutions, how can that be possible?
hmm so I have social media on pretty much a lot of different platforms. I have Instagram, Facebook. You can find Sonya Achara on Facebook, and then all of my platforms have like a link in my bio to see like my website, my podcast. I'm gonna start putting my podcast on YouTube and SoundCloud, so that's where I'm gonna have all of my information.
Awesome, got it. So that's gonna be the end of the show, Sonia. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this beautiful mindset, incredible informations with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.